The Mind. This is your review for 2. Good day, my name is Joe Gerba. Today I'll be going through The Mind and how it plays with 2 players. Now The Mind is a 2 to 4 player game. It's a cooperative game where you're trying to go through these various levels and complete the task, and hopefully you end up past level 12. Now for the first level, and for each level therefore, whatever level you're on, each player is going to get that many cards. So level 1 you're going to get 1 card. Now the goal in this game is easy. Just play the cards in ascending order. If I have a 2 and the opponent has a 25, let's say, these cards are labeled from 1 to 100. There's 1 of every card. If I have a low number and they have a 25, I'll put down the low number and they'll put down the 25. Easy, right? Well, you can't say anything in this game. So it's a very big play on, do I play this card or do I not? And you go from there. So after you beat level 1, you go on to level 2, and each person will get 2 cards and so forth through the levels. So as the game goes on, it increases in difficulty, and it's a fun little icebreaker game to look at the other person and see if you can't see who has that next number in line. Now in the 2-player game, everybody starts off with 2 lives. So the lives are lost by if somebody plays a card out of order. If the other person plays a card that's higher than your lowest card, you have to discard it, and you also lose a life. So in this game, you only have 2 lives. Now, as you progress through these levels, you'll get extra things such as extra lives and extra throwing stars. Well, in this game, here's a throwing star that you get to use if both players aren't sure who has the lowest number. Both players will raise their hand or think, and well, everybody will discard their lowest card. So if you can't decide who's going to play, remember, you can't talk. If you can't decide who's going to play, you can use this throwing star to pass 1 card down that's your lowest card, and then play continues. And essentially, you want to get through all 12 levels. So by the end, hopefully you have some lives left. And level 12, you have 12 cards each that you want to play in ascending order but can't talk. It can be quite difficult, but quite a challenge. So here's what I think of the game. So there aren't very many components to the game. You have 100 cards in this game. You have 12 round counters. You have about 5 life tokens. You only need 2 for a little while in the 2-player game. And a few throwing stars. Table size is very minimum to play. You don't need a very large table at all. The components are fine. The cards, I wouldn't sleeve. You'll be shuffling these quite a bit. So it's a very easy game to get to the table. Setup is you shuffle these cards, deal 1 to each player at the beginning, then try to play these 1 at a time, hopefully in ascending order with both players. The rules are pretty easy. It's 2-sided. The difficulty of the rules, very straightforward, very easy. Can't talk. You need to play the cards in ascending order. And it's a fun little game. Now, the replayability is there. I definitely use it as a starter game for the evening. I don't see this game being the headlining game of the evening, or I don't see you also playing more than 4 or 5 games in a row. 3 is usually a pretty good number, 1 to get you started and a couple more to, try it out. So how does this game play with 2 players? I would say not that well. With 3 to 4 players, you get a lot of interaction. You get a lot of high-fiving after you complete every level. You feel like a sense of accomplishment. You just don't get that in the 2-player game. 2-player game, you can high-five, but you don't quite feel like you and the other person are really, you don't have a good play on words or, a play for the cards. But with 3 to 4, you really feel like you've accomplished something. You've completed it. On to the next level. Okay, here we go. We're starting again. But with two, I don't find this game as engaging, as interactive as the 3 to 4 player. Now, the 3 to 4 player, I do find is a great starter game for the evening. It's a good way to start it off with some nice cooperative game, something you can work together towards. But for 2 players, I can't recommend the Mind. So it's a great game, but for 2, I can't recommend it. Thank you guys for listening.